Hey everybody, it's Angela, one of the besties. The other bestie is doing some traveling today, and so I wanted to come on to tell you this. So you have been seeing some posts about the Choose Joy Challenge, and that's my thing. And if you have seen, if you are a part of our YouTube community, you've seen it there a lot more than you have here. And I'm going to be honest about why that is and why I have decided to go live here and tell Judge Judy, that is my judge, self-judge. I've named her so I can so I can fight against her when she shows up. So she's Judge Judy. And she has been telling me for the last week, 2 weeks, as I thought about this challenge and started to develop it, that this this IG community, your YouTube community, they're here for your podcast, Angela. They're not here to hear about your joy stuff and your coaching and all that stuff. So that is what I have been fighting against, to be honest. And I decided that I was going to win that fight. Leslie and I talk about a lot about courage not being the same as fearless. We don't believe in fearlessness. We believe that there is fear, and courage is doing it anyway, pushing against the fear. And so this is me being courageous, telling Judge Judy to go to hell, and talk to you about why I'm talking to you about this challenge on this platform, on my Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn IG channel. And that is because this podcast is the result of a joy choice that I made. About 2 years ago, less than 2 years, in 2022, I sold my home. It's the home that I raised my children in when we left New Jersey. They were 1, 6, and 8. It was a home where I cared for my parents. Either one or both of them lived with me at some point. So it was a home that I bought on purpose to accommodate all of those people, all of those needs, all of those desires that I had to serve the people that I loved. And I decided to sell that home that we'd lived in for almost 20 years. 2 of my 3 children were already out of the house, graduated college, doing their thing. And the youngest one was a junior going into his junior year of college. So the house just was not required anymore. And I was so close to either taking in refugees, honestly. I just felt like it was all of the space. And so anyway, I decided to sell the house, and before I even put the house on the market officially, it sold. It hadn't even, it was, what did they call it? It was on a coming soon. And so my household, sight unseen, and I decided that if I was able to sell my house quickly, I was going to take a long break. Long for me at that time was 6 weeks. I was going to go. My middle child had moved to California, and I was thinking about moving to a more urban area because that house was in the suburbs. And you guys know I'm from Brooklyn, Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn, and I wanted to see whether an urban environment was something that I would feel comfortable in again. I felt it kind of pulling me, but I didn't feel New York pulling me. And I went to LA and spent 6 weeks there. And I call it my joy journey, not because I went there to find joy, but I called it my joy journey because I went there with the intention to just do whatever joy was kind of leading me to do. I was going to just wake up each morning and make decisions based on that. I was going to have the conversations I wanted to have. I was going to walk. I was going to, you guys may have heard us talking about, we both like to do upcycling. I'm a little obsessed with it sometimes, so I took my sewing machine with me and I went thrifting a lot. I walked. I mean, I didn't rent a car on purpose, and I just did a lot of walking, Ubered when I needed to, but and just spent time thinking about if I could do anything that I wanted to do, what would that look like? And as you probably would experience, that was hard to kind of just allow myself to not focus on, okay, how am I going to make money? How am I going to, what am I not doing that I'm supposed to be doing? This is frivolous. This is, who does this? All of those things would come up, but I pushed them aside and said, no, this is what I'm here to do. God blessed me with some good proceeds from the sale of my home, and so this was a great time to do it. And so when I started to kind of get my head ready to come back home, and I started to kind of feel pressure around, okay, you still don't know what you're going to do, even though I didn't go out there thinking about, well, what are you going to do next? But I took a little mini retreat with a dear friend of mine and her partner. And we went to Joshua Tree. And when I got back, I got this download. I remember I was eating, and so I scribbled it on a napkin. Just the things that I was feeling led that I was to do. It just all kind of flooded out of me. And so that napkin became a PowerPoint deck because that's me. And it became a graph of, which things should come first, second, third, and how things kind of would work together and all of that stuff. And one of those things was that I wanted to spend more time with my bestie. We talked several times a day. That was always the case. But she lived in New Jersey. I lived in North Carolina, and I knew that something that I wanted to do was to spend more time with her. And what started to emerge is this podcast. So I thought about some names, and I decided, yes, I was going to approach her with it. And if she was down, then we're going to go for it. So I went to Leslie and I said, this is the idea. I really got to the point where I kind of did my research. I listened to some podcasts about podcasting. And one of the things that one of them recommended is if you can make a list, just sitting down and make a list of 11, 12, 13 topics that you would talk about in your podcast. And if it came freely to you, meaning without that much effort, then you probably have the makings of a podcast. So I sat down and I did that. And I think I came up with at least 15, maybe more things. And so I put this in the spreadsheet also. And I shared it with Leslie, and she was in. We were going to do this. Okay, that was the decision. We were going to do this. So I took some classes. I sent Leslie the things that I thought she had some time, just kind of quick ideas that I thought she could absorb. She's really busy doing her doctoring. And I sent those to her, and we started this podcast. And it has been one of the joyful things in both of our lives. And so this challenge that I have talked about, posted about, is called the Choose Joy Challenge. One of the other things that was on the list that I got this download about was coaching. And I really, really struggled with that. I mean, I don't know if it was imposter syndrome. I don't know what it was. But I told myself that everybody calls himself a coach. And so what is that? The podcast thing was kind of the easier choice for me, even though it was the thing that I knew least about. But the coaching is something that the Lord just kept bringing back, and almost like it started to feel like I was being disobedient. And what he showed me is that I've been doing this in every circle that I found myself in, whether it was with my friends and at school, at church, in my life in corporate, some type of coaching, some type of mentoring. And I took it very seriously. And so I decided that I needed to stop being disobedient about this thing. And if you know me at all, I always want to get some certification, right? If I'm going to do it, I want to do it. That's why I got my master's degree, because I did engineering as an undergrad, and when I saw that computers and the IT space is where I was going to be working, I was like, okay, I have to get a degree in this new thing. And so that's what I got my master's in. And so I'd been using this technology while I was in my corporate space for decades. And I'd gotten some training within that, formal training, but I decided to get certified in it. So last year I went ahead and got certified in this technology that's the core of my coaching practice. And so no other excuses. You're certified, just do the thing. Just do the damn thing. And so I'm sharing all this with you because all of this podcast, my coaching, are examples of me choosing joy and me being so completely fulfilled by my joy choices, even though they're hard, right? Because the joy that I'm talking about is not a happy thing. Happy is great, but happy is inconsistent. And joy is a sustained. It's a well. It's a source, and it's not always hard to achieve it, but it's worth the effort. And so the challenge that I have created is around having people see how to choose joy, what it feels like to choose joy, and to ultimately make joy a series of decisions that you make in your life, especially as older people, where joy and self were not things that we were taught to center on. It was considered selfish to put ourselves first. And one thing that I came to realize is that when your needs are met, the things that you need, those are the things that you then give. I need flexibility. I need routine is not something that I need. Routine maybe helps me sometimes, but it's not what I need. Leslie needs routine. I don't need routine. I need flexibility. And when I have that need met, I am a very flexible person. I show so much grace when I get my need for being flexible. Leslie is able to In her need for routine, she serves so many people, including me, through her the kind of certainty that she creates for me and for others. It's because that need for certainty in her is being met. And so these are the things that I am going to dig deeper on in my Choose Joy Challenge. I'd love for you to join. It is on April 17th to the 19th. It's 1 hour per day from 12 to 1 Eastern Time. And you'll see the link somewhere here on how to register. And I know that it is going to be transformative. It is how I live my life. It's how I coach my clients. It is how I hope to have you see that when you center your joy, when you get your needs met, when you even know what your needs are. If I were to ask you what you need, would you be able to tell me? Money usually comes to mind, and material things. There's nothing wrong with those things. I want you to dig a little deeper though. If it is money, if it is a car, if it is a home, ask yourself why 5 times. Each time we'll get a little deeper. Why do I need money? I need money because I want to pay my bills. Why do I need to pay my bills? So you go through that 5 times, and usually this is something that we use in the tech space a lot to get to the root cause. After doing that 5 times is when you get really clear on the real why. The real why. And so these are some of the things that we're going to be going through on the Choose Joy Challenge. I hope you join us. I did want to come here and explain what this is all about. This is not a platform for selling my coaching, but it is in fact a place where joy manifests through my relationship with my best friend for 47 years. And so I wanted to come here to remind you that joy is a choice that you can make, and I want to teach you how to make that choice. So join me for the Choose Joy Challenge, April 17th through the 19th. You can find it on Eventbrite, but I will put the link somewhere here so it will be easy for you to find us. And now I am heading to a Luther Vandross documentary. A friend of mine, new friend that I met at a networking event that I had to push myself to go to because I can just be comfortable here. I don't know if you see my sewing machine. It's back there somewhere. Over here, I think it is. I have so many projects that I'm working on, and I always have something to do. And it would be so easy for me to stay at home and do these things. But I moved to this area, to a more urban area, to go out, to find community, to get out of the house. And so I said yes to that, and I'm gonna go, and it's gonna be wonderful. So I'm gonna end here. Thank you so much for being here. If you're seeing this live or the replay, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about this. What joy decision have you been deferring? What is joy all about to you? What are some of your needs? If I were to ask you, and I'm asking you, what are your needs? Well, that is all. I'll see you guys on the podcast. Bye. And I never know how to end my life.